What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another Warzone mobile video. So today we do have the patch notes, or I guess all the major changes that are coming for this game in Season 3, which of course, as of recording, it's 11:32 p.m. on April 2nd. So within maybe less than a day, we'll be getting all these different updates. So yes, the devs went out of their way to fix a lot of different issues, specifically with how the game runs with Android as well as iOS. This pertains to graphical issues, rendering stuff in game, and just so on. Of course, this might not be representative to all the changes that may be coming with this update. I mean, these could be just the major changes. Maybe they have some issues with, certain other bugs that really don't pertain to how the game functions, but maybe stuff towards camo challenges or just, various buffs for weapons. But what's going to be highlighted here in this video is just all the major functional changes of the game, like frame issues, Android issues, iOS issues, you name it. So first off, let's actually get into the Android optimization. So it says we're aware of issues impacting a subset of Android devices. Some Android devices were misconfigured to use higher default settings than intended. Fix adjusted default settings for Android devices. There's another issue that says graphic took longer to load than expected, resulting in low fidelity graphics in early matches. The fix is that more assets are loaded in before matches begin, so graphics will immediately improve more rapidly upon joining a game. The last issue, which has two fixes, I believe, it says crashing, graphical corruptions, and disconnects were unexpectedly occurring on some Android devices. Discovered a bug causing too many vehicles and buy stations to appear in Verdansk, which impaired the game's performance. This has also been resolved. And also for another fix, I guess a side note, is if you disconnect, we'll add a rejoin feature so you could jump back in game. So yeah, these are all the major changes for Android optimizations, and also with this return back in game feature. I think this is something that probably should have been in the game from the start. I know COD Mobile has had this for a very long time. Just in case your game ever crashes, you're always given the option to jump back into the game. So this part of the patch notes really revolves around device temperature. I know I've had that issue before. I did mention it in the impressions video where I do sometimes get that temperature issue. So it says the default FPS cap was set too high on certain device models, resulting in thermal and performance issues. Fix, we've adjusted the default FPS to better keep devices cool. In progress, this is something that they're still working on. Continue adjusting other levers that affect device temperature. This does kind of explain how the devices are starting to heat up a bit too much. Maybe they're just giving us too many frames that our devices simply just can't handle it. This pertains also to the Android devices too. Maybe there's an Android devices that could only support 90 frames or something, and perhaps they set it to 120, not knowing that the device is not built for it. So here is another one. This pertains to graphics. We are aware some players are experiencing pixelated images and textures. Warzone Mobile uses streaming to load in graphics as you play. This dramatically reduces the total install footprint and download size for the players, but players with poor internet connectivity will experience lower tier graphics. The fix is that more graphics will load in before matches begin, so graphics will immediately improve more rapidly upon joining a game. The other issue is that default FPS was set too high for some devices, resulting in thermal and performance issues. This is the same thing. They adjusted the default FPS settings for low and medium tier devices. So the second issue, I mean, we've already discussed that, but when it comes to the streaming, and loading the textures, and this is something that I'm kind of against. I mean, not every device or not everyone has like the best internet in the world to stream something like that. And, if it's kind of similar to cloud gaming where you stream a game and, depending on how good your internet is, the graphics are going to be better. This is something I'm against because I rather just have the full install rather than just a portion of it where the game just runs it worse. So this last part does pertain to game difficulty, basically matchmaking. So I'm not really sure whether or not these fixes are part of just the matchmaking for both multiplayer or just, Warzone in general, because it does say that the game can feel harder when you're up against 120 real players, which of course pertains to the BR section. It did say that more players lead to more difficult games. More real players lead to more difficult games. And that's kind of like a weird issue because, I mean, it kind of feels like someone that has played COD Mobile for years on public matches would probably say that, because maybe they always get bots and they're not used to going against people that are all real. And I mean, I kind of knew what I signed up for when I played this game. I knew every player was going to be real, but I think what they're trying to say is that I think the game punishes you a little bit too hard for being good, and it gives you a way harder lobby to deal with, making it harder for you to grind your weapons or to just at least have a good time. So they said we've adjusted matchmaking and other levers to improve the level of difficulty for new players. So now the second complaint is that there are too many controller players in Warzone Mobile. So from what I understand, they only said like I think 5% of all Warzone Mobile players are actually using a controller. I don't even know how they measure that. But I mean, it's really hard. Like, when I'm looking at kill cams, it's really hard to tell whether or not they're touch players. Usually I could tell if their screen's all like shaky, because you know that they're kind of using gyro. But again, I mean, it's very rare when I see that. So I'm not like, honestly, maybe that number could be a lie, but depending on how people like are playing, I can't fully tell whether or not they're all using controller players, because I use controller myself. But hey, if touch players feel like controller is a bit of advantage, then I mean, I don't mind if they make these types of changes for them. So what it says on their next step, this is something that they're, I think, currently working on still. It says, we'll continue to evaluate balancing player matchmaking polls by native touch and controllers. If they want to do that for casual modes, just normal multiplayer, I would say, you should probably focus this harder if you are going to have a ranked mode for both multiplayer and BR, because yes, I could see where there will be a massive difference there, but in just normal matchmaking, I don't think it should be too much of a problem. They shouldn't be focusing too much on that, but yeah, ranked and anything that's competitive probably should be looked at. So basically, all these things that are getting changed is, it's very good when it comes to, performance. With the matchmaking portion, don't expect it to be extremely easy. Don't expect to be going against like complete noobs at the very start of the update. I'm sure, it's going to get tighter for those that are already experienced. I mean, even for me, it is a little bit tough. I mean, for God's sakes, you look at the video, I'm like literally camping with a marksman rifle. So yeah, I mean, it's not always sunshines and rainbows, but I do understand, new players have probably not ever experienced this type of engine before, so they do need some time to adjust before they get into harder lobbies. I kind of understand that. But yeah, those are all the changes. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe for some more COD Mobile and Warzone Mobile content. Sorry, it's very, I'm still in the force of habit still saying COD Mobile. I mean, don't worry guys, I have not quit the game, but so far, my main focus is Warzone Mobile because it just came out, so yeah. Anyways, have a wonderful day, guys.